Welcome to Monday Morning Quarterback, a new weekly video from Cannon Church. My name is Tim Emmett. I'm the senior pastor at Cannon, and I'll be your quarterback. Each week on Monday morning, I'll remind us of the gospel, the good news we heard in church on Sunday, and then share a game plan for the week ahead. Yesterday morning, we started a new sermon series called Awakening, When Christ Calls Us to Rise. I preached on the healing of a man who was paralyzed from the second chapter of Mark's Gospel. That man's story, the story of his healing, is good news for us because it makes clear that Christ calls us to rise from the bondage, the paralysis of our sin, to walk in the freedom of the children of God. Here's our game plan. First, embrace the name. 4 times in this passage, this man is referred to just as the paralytic. That's how he saw himself. That's how others saw him. And like him, we're often inclined to view ourselves in terms of our limitations and our mistakes. The paralytic, the paralytic, the paralytic, the paralytic. But before Jesus healed him, he forgave him. And before he forgave him, he called him child. He gave him a new name. He told him who he really was and how God saw him. This week, I encourage you to embrace the name. Don't define yourself. Don't let others define you by your limitations or your mistakes. Instead, embrace the name that God gives you by His grace, child. Second, take a friend. This man could only be healed by Jesus because 4 friends picked him up, carried him on the mat on which he lay, and brought him to Jesus. This week, someone you know, a family member, a friend, a coworker, may need you to take them to Jesus in prayer. Bring them before Jesus. Embrace the name, take a friend. And third and finally this week, I want you to look to lift. That is, this week, someone may need you to be the person who tells them who they really are. They may be defining themselves by their limitations, their mistakes, and they need you to be the one who calls them a child of God, reminds them who they really are by God's grace. Yesterday morning, I told the story of John of Kronstadt, a Russian Orthodox priest in the 1800s. He served a parish in St. Petersburg at a time of great drunkenness. It was a rampant social problem. Men were getting drunk and falling down drunk in the gutters. John would pick them up and tell them, this is beneath your dignity. You were made to be a home for the fullness of God. That's a great example of looking to lift, lifting someone up, not talking down to them, not berating them, but encouraging them that they were made for more.